Hi everybody, I'm just getting set up a little bit here. I don't know why I hit the start button before I actually was ready to start, but here I am. Hello, happy Wednesday. Holy moly, stayed up last night, placed my very last close to my heart release order. Got my Gigantor coffee here. The way Weight Watchers works, that Gigantor coffee will probably be my points for the rest of the week. But, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Anyway, so if I'm punchy today, that's why. Anyway, I have a little list really quick of things I want to make sure and tell you before we start. And then I have got a very cool scrapbook page today. So the Close to My Heart products started last night at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. Holy moly, you guys. I stayed up. So what happened was several of the stamp sets sold out. Like the one we all wanted, the capture, the one with the cameras, and the travel themed one. It sold out. My daughter and I timed it. It showed unavailable in 11 minutes, but it popped back on as available again. And so I don't know what was going on in the Stampin' Up shopping world, but I do know that the marketing director explained to us after the last sale that the shopping carts have to constantly re-update the inventory. So they scan through the carts, update the inventory, scan through the carts, update the inventory, and it happens every couple of minutes. So I think what was happening was that it was updating the inventory, and then people were losing things in their carts, and then other people were putting them into the carts, and then it would update again, and oh my gosh, so it was crazy, but I believe that most of us got everything we wanted. So it's if you were up at night anyway. Right now, there's a lot of sold out items, but there's still a lot of great stuff to be had. I'm excited. I went ahead and I ordered the whole National Scrapbook Month bundle, which was $108, gasp. But I wanted that bundle because when I added up all the individual pieces that I wanted, it actually made more sense to just get the bundle. It was like $10 cheaper or something. And I'm like, I can do that. So I did that, and I did not get the gnomes bundle, which I thought I would, but I didn't really want the little gnome dies. So I figured out the math on that, and I just bought the parts and pieces, but I did buy a couple of paper packs and the stickers because I love it. I just didn't want the actual gnome die. And I love that little sprinkler set of the stamp set. Anyway, I'll show you everything I bought because it's ridiculous what I bought. Okay, it's ridiculous. The bonus sale, you get $5 for every $50 you spend. So when you're looking to make a purchase, if you can hit that $50 mark, you at least get 10% of your purchase in a credit. It'll, every little bit adds up. Okay. Use a host code if you can. If you're buying more than $150, don't use a host code because you'll get that pop-up to put in your rewards as you buy. But if you use the host code, you'll be added into my stack of people to get a random hostess drawing. Hi, Sally. Oh my gosh, I'm punchy today, but woo. Okay, my craft along, Tuesday, July 9th, and I think I'm going to do that at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to create an event on our site so that you can click whether you're coming or not. I was going to do it on Zoom, and I may dill, depending on if I can get that to work where I can use my computer and my camera. So Tuesday evening, Steve's out of town. It's perfect time to spend a couple hours making some cards. I'll make a list of things you need, although I have put that list on there once already. For the people who want to do something in person, I do too. I'm thinking the 13th or 14th or the 20th, 21st. I'd like to stick it onto a weekend during the day if possible, because, and I don't even care if it's like a morning, you know, like 10 to 12 or something like that. I don't care what time, but if you're free, let me know, because I would love to do that. And it's nice to not have to deal with the dog. That's what, and when Steve and Jen are around, it really does help. All right, so those are my announcements today. So about a month ago, I started playing, you know, with the butterflies and the postage dies, and I gotta admit, I'm getting tired of butterflies. Postage, I've done a lot with it. I'm ready to move on, but I have this pile of stuff in my queue, and during the day, you know what? I could do it during the day, but I think a lot of people are working, Sally. That's my only thing. I could do it again on the weekend during the day. Or on another day during the day. I don't mind doing it more than once. I have got a stash that is killer. I don't even mind doing, you know, several different ones, so that if somebody wants to do 2 or 3 and stash bust with me, hey, I'm happy. Anyway, I have piles of stuff in my project cart, and each layer of my project cart is another video that I want to do. And so this one has been in there for over a month, and I was initially going to do it using the seashells. And I got the seashells, and I was like, you know what? I love these butterflies so much with this particular paper and stuff that this is the one I want to do today. So I'm going to do this one. And then I'm happy for you, Sally. I'm so happy for you. When I retired, I had a very big party in the clinic. And then I had a lame, nasty party in the hospital, which doesn't make any sense at all, because I worked both places, and in the hospital I was there for like 33 years. And then the clinic I was only there for like 5. And so it doesn't make sense that they had such a big party in the clinic, but not the hospital. Go figure. I'm a little salty about that. I keep taking sips of coffee, you guys, because I'm dying here. All right, so here is basically what I did. This is all hooked together, mostly. This is all hooked together. And what I did was I gutted the paper. This wood grain paper is gorgeous. And I also, so I used this really cool wood grain here. I used a layer of espresso, a cardstock, and then I used that, another piece of that Nature's Treasures or Sweetness, something like that, paper, and it's got like gold foil tones, and I've been using a lot of this because it really coordinates with the outdoorsy nature kind of pages that I'm doing. And so, and these paper packs are so big, they seem to last a while. So I feel like, you know, I'm getting a lot of mileage out of them. So what I want to do is I'm just going to point this out. I distressed the espresso. I did a gutting job. Let me get out my ruler so I can tell you how big everything is. 12 by 12 wood grain, gutted a couple of inches there. And then the espresso is 10.5 by 10.5. And then the Nature's Sweetness, it's Nature's Sweetness, it came to me, is 10 by 10. And then I used like my scissor or a distressing tool to distress all around. I'm pretty sure I used my distressing tool. Is it here though? Where did I put it? Hold on a sec. I don't know what I did with that. It was sitting out. It's probably on this table. As I uncover things, it'll show up. I cut, you know, if you cut this out and then cut the inner layer out, you can make a frame. And so I cut frame in ballerina and using the denim. This denim is also part of that country wood. This is country woods, and then there's a country lace. And the country lace paper has a lace back, but it also has denim, you know, flips over to different patterns. And so I just made a mat for my photo, and I'm gonna put it right here, like that. And then I have some photos of us working in the garden, and for some reason, the one of us together working is what I want to put here. You know, as a teacher, I would think this time of year a party would be hard because everybody's already like ready to roll, ready to get out. And I think that's what happened with my hospital thing, is that everybody is so freaking busy all the time. Nobody has time or takes time to plan a going away party. But it is kind of weird to not be a part of all that daily discussion at work and that kind of thing. It's just different, you know? It's a different way of life. It's taken me a long time to adapt to that. Okay. So I want to make a page 2 that coordinates with this. And so I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to start. Hold on a minute. I'm getting all my parts and pieces out, okay? Like my photos. I'll put those there. The first thing I want to do is I want to make another one of these. So I have one for the left hand side of the page, and then this one is going to be for the right hand side of the page. And you'll notice I distressed everything. Gosh, where did I put that thing? Dang, hold on just a sec. I gotta look in my piles. Here's that country lace paper, and then the back denim. So I have it out. Yeah, I don't know what the heck I did with that distresser. You know, I have a tendency to clean everything up. Give me a sec. I'm sorry, you guys. You know, as soon as I'm done here, I'll find my distresser that I have opened. This is an old distressing tool from close to my heart, and it has blades in there. So I'm going to use that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distress everything because it's messy and I hate doing it, right? So if you look on this one, I did the opposite. I did the ballerina, the espresso, and then the little blue. And when you distress, it really helps to have like something under so that you're not messing up your surface. You can use a pair of scissors to distress. When you use a tool like this, I intentionally try to kind of smush and rip a little bit. I mean, like you want it to look a little rough. And if you tear it somewhere where you don't like how it looks, you can always glue that part down. Okay, so there's the pink. Now, going to the espresso. What I like about doing this distressing on the Close to My Heart cardstock is, of course, that it's white on the inside. If you're using another brand, it may be solid. You can still get it pretty roughed up, and you can ink the edges to make it look different. Like if you have a white ink or something, you could sponge the edges a little bit, or even make it darker with ink and make it look kind of cool. Now this one is the Stampin' Up paper. And I am just gonna go up and down the different sides of that. Isn't this fun? I have a tendency, as I was looking at other demonstrators' pages and, what they do, and like looking at other YouTubers and Facebook people and stuff, I've noticed, you may have noticed, my pages tend to be a bit elaborate, and not all pages need to be so detailed, but it doesn't make sense for me to show you like a real basic, super basic layout all the time, because you are really good and you can do that. You don't need to watch me. You won't learn anything from me if I only show you, the basic thing or how to follow a sketch all the time. Sometimes I really like to just do my own thing. And this is definitely something that I did just on my own. This is not anybody else's that I'm copying, I like to tell you. Yeah, I have some that are shaped like ladybugs. Remember those? Remember when those came out and they were so popular? The little ladybug shaped ones. And there was one that was a blade and one had a perforator. They were so popular, but distressing is kind of back again. It's just like a thing that comes and goes because, you're just looking for a different look. And so, I don't know. I really like the, one more and I'm done. This stuff is so messy. I don't tend to do a lot of messy, just because I'm like, it's not easy to clean it all up all the time. But sometimes you get the coolest pages if you do messy. All right, so there's the bulk of my garbage there. I'm gonna put that in the trash. All right, and yeah, that actually worked pretty good. Not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and attach my espresso to my ballerina. I just want it a little bit centered. And then I am going to go ahead. I'm going to use my liquid glue just for speed to put these cute little postage on here. Let's see how far apart I need to put them. I like to do, when I'm doing something like this, I like to put one on one side and one on the other, and then I can center the middle so that I don't have it all wonky, especially when I've already started putting it down, and makes it harder to fix, right? Okay, now I need to decide. I'd started one. I was like, well, I definitely want butterflies, and I think I want another message on here, but I'm not sure what yet, because I really like this good life. But I do want to go ahead and stamp a couple of butterflies. Which ones? I don't know. Haven't decided. But I don't want it the same as that. So I think I'll do this one. This little butterfly right there. And I like to use the Close to My Heart ink, or, oh, dang, I used the wrong ink. Hold on a minute. I grabbed my embossing ink. Yikes. The other, I have like 4 black inks that I use all the time. Why? I don't know. I grab whatever's closest most of the time. So, okay. I'm just going to put that off to the side like that. And I wiped it off. Now, I did something a little weird on my, on this. So this comes with a die that cuts these 4 butterflies perfectly, but as you can see, I don't always keep my butterflies together. So I did a little stamp surgery, and I cut my butterflies apart, but I kept this little weird arm on there so that I would know exactly where to put them back together again if I ever wanted to use that, you know, that die. I do this a lot, and you guys know I do a little stamp surgery often because I really like to be able to use just one butterfly or 2 butterflies without having to mask and do things, you know, to make that work differently. You know, I don't want to have to fuss with it. So yeah, I just did a little stamp surgery. We're going to use these butterflies again, so I'm going to leave those out. In the meantime, let me get out some ink. So these are the 3 colors I primarily used in this project. And I want to use a little bit of Capri and a little bit of the Flamingo. And I'm just going to push my pad together, squeeze it, and get a little ink in the lid. And I have like a little water brush. How wet is it? Okay, not bad. And I'm just gonna watercolor the centers. Now, I like to put the blue down, give it a moment. Like that. And then I'm going to wipe my brush off so it's as dry as possible. And I'm going to go into the ink that I haven't touched yet. And by doing that, I get a bolder color right at the center. Because the more water you add, you know, the more diluted it looks. So I'm adding as much ink as possible. If you don't get enough ink or enough color by doing this pad trick, then go ahead and smear the ink on your table. Whoops. And you can totally just squish onto your table. This is way overkill for what I'm doing, but add some water to it and use it solid where you want it dark, and add water to it where you want it lighter. So, okay. So there's one. It dries lighter than it looks when you first put it on. So don't freak out if it's darker than you want right at the start. You can always add more. See, like even on this one that's been dry for like a month, I can go back and add more color to it if I feel like it needs to match a little better or something. Do you see? And this one, I'm just gonna add a little extra water there. There you go. Any paintbrush works. I'm gonna just dot a little extra at the top. Okay, that's all I need. That's all the watercoloring I am going to do. And so let me get my rag again and make sure I wipe that off so I don't get it everywhere. And then the other thing I need to do, what I did on these was I added some blue, like sky, right? And so I'm gonna get out my Capri again. And I'm just gonna real softly go in around the edges and do some sky. And I probably have enough blue left over on my brush that I don't even have to add more, but there we go. I like that. I wish I wouldn't have done that, but that's okay. All right. And there's that. And then again, gotta wipe that off. I got blue ink all over it. Okay. I'll decide what I want as words later. I grabbed this set because on the other one, I used always something to be thankful for. And I thought it might be really nice. Good things take time or something like that. Just put it on a strip across there. I thought that would be really nice. So that's my plan, right? Now I did not, distress the edges of these. I just glued them on. Now, one thing I did do is, you can't see it on camera, but I have a little bit of shimmer because I do shimmer brush on like everything. I have a little tiny bit of shimmer brush, just a little clear on there because I like how it looks, but honestly, you can't see it. So I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, so there's my page 2 decoration. There's my page 1 decoration. I'm going to throw that in the pile. The other thing that I want to do, let's create some butterflies. So if you remember on the first page, I'm going to bring this in. I have a large butterfly There's the medium and the small, and then I have another medium down here. And if you look at them, they're colored. Now, yeah, I could watercolor those, or I could use my full of life paper, which is what I want to do because that is the easy way. Let me see if this, I don't know if I need a huge, I don't even know if I'll have room for such a big butterfly. Geesh, get out my big block. All right. So what I'm going to do is emboss today. So I've got Versamark ink. It's a watermark pad. It looks clear. It's got like a, almost like a sticky ink finish. Like you can feel it when you put it on when you put it on, you can feel that it's sticky. You can probably see that it's shiny, and you just, you know, put it on. And you can kind of see that, right? Now I have another scrap paper. I have black. My favorite embossing powder is the Wow embossing powder. It's the powder that is, oh my gosh, look what I found, my distresser. It was underneath my embossing powder, go figure. So what you want to sprinkle your embossing powder on while the ink is still wet. And then if you are going to use it on a card or something just like this, you need to kind of use an anti-static tool because it's really humid here and your paper holds humidity. See how that comes off like that? Or use a little brush. I have like a little cheap, you know, grade school paintbrush that I like to use. Okay, let's do, now be careful not to touch that one because there's my anti-static that I probably should have done in the first place. Let me go ahead and grab another block. I've got a lot of stuff on my table today for some reason. I've got a lot. Okay, let's do the Versamark. Sticky ink. You can use any pigment ink for this. If you have pigment ink, you can totally use pigment ink. And let's see, did I get it all? I think so. We'll find out. Cool. I'm tempted to do two. Maybe I'll do a couple of real small butterflies too. I don't have any of these. I'll do a couple of these. I just want to have enough so that I can decorate without any trouble. And I'm putting them on the colors that I like. Like I like that butterfly is going to be pink in the middle and blue on the edge. And this one's got a little pink here, pink and green. I like that. It's cool. All right. And let me go ahead and I'm going to do one more. Making all of these little parts and pieces, it's a pain, right? It's pain. Like if you are going to put together a scrapbook page, maybe you don't want to do all of this work, but sometimes what I do is I'll do this in components. So I will go ahead and just put on I'll just do this part and then store that for later. You know what I mean? And then I'll have it together. I'll have all the parts. You've seen my little piece my little container full of extra parts and pieces, right? It makes the project a little more fun than this feels fussy doing it step by step. But I just wanted to show you how to do everything so that you can recreate it if you want. Okay, we are done with butterflies. I'm setting that aside. And we need to heat these up because it'll melt the powder. I have a heat tool. This is a Ranger heat tool. You can use any heat tool as long as it's not like a wallpaper heater kind of thing, because it'll be too hot. But I like to heat from the bottom a little bit. Get that like powder stuck to the paper really good. And then I do from the top. And when it gets warm enough, what you will see is magic. It just starts melting and looking really shiny. You can maybe see it on that little butterfly right there. He's turning shiny. And now we're gonna do the wings. And now the body is changing. And now the other wing. I hope you can see the difference on that because it's really cool. Now let's do the little butterfly. Make sure we have all of him. Now I like to just kind of hold it in the light a little bit and make sure I didn't miss anywhere. Because once in a while, I'll miss a spot and then you have like powder that comes off. All right, I'm gonna wipe this down. Isn't that pretty? And you can feel it now. And it looks like I watercolored it. Sally, I am live right here. Am I not on Connie Crafts? Oh, see, this is what happens when I'm tired. I go live on my regular page instead of my Connie Crafts page or something. So I'm just gonna keep going since I'm going. And the next part when you emboss is to cut out your images. I have a magnetic, this is an Empress from Anna Griffin. It's my favorite machine. And this is a mini one, and it has a magnetic thing, so I don't have to tape everything in place. And so I can then, oh, good. Thank you, Heather. I'm like, why is this confusing to me all the time? I feel like I'm always messing around and trying to hurry around. Right before I went live, I was helping Steve with his helmet communicator. He's training to be an instructor at the racetrack, and so inside their helmets they have these like communication devices, and they have to be able to talk to each other, and they can't hear with all of their helmets and stuff on. So I was helping him with that right before I went live, like seconds. Okay, so I have all my pieces on here. Okay, I'm gonna run that through my machine. You might be able to hear my machine. You know, I have like the mini machine that you crank. I have a machine that is like a spellbinders machine that you crank. I love it. But when I had my shoulder surgery, it really made me realize that maybe I don't want to crank so much. Okay, there you go. See, Connie Hart, there you go. So all my relatives and everybody, this is what I do now. I'm for fun. Okay, there's my butterflies. That's for page 2. now it's time to put the pages together, and I am going to, I think I'll use my liquid glue. This paper is so pretty. Now on the first page, I have my wood grain going horizontally. So I am going to just put this on with liquid glue, and I made that horizontal. And it doesn't really matter what the center looks like as long as it's even on all four sides, because we just want it to be even on the edges, and we're going to cover up the center here. And one of the things that you could do with this is you could use foam tape, and it would bring it up a little bit, but that is a lot. I don't think it's necessary, but it's an option. Okay. All right. And now we're going to put this piece on. So now we have page 2. Here's page 1, right? So this is the wood grain paper, the country wood paper, and then then I used a piece of espresso brown from Close to My Heart, and then this is that Nature's Sweetness paper pack that is, it's gorgeous, and it's a hidden treasure in the catalog. It has that like gold foil on it. It's really cool. And so I love how this looks. Now I don't want to raise my camera to show both pages, but I do want to kind of show you what I did on this page. I used a little bit of the postage frame here and at the bottom here. I have not attached this yet. I should just attach this. I left it apart so that I could show it for our demonstration there. And then this is my mat, photo mat with a flip flap over here. And I have another photo for this of me and Steve, but I just, for some reason, didn't print that one. So it'll be the front and center, that piece. But I just wanted to show you, I did sponge a little bit of espresso there. Now, the problem on this page is that I've got a lot of small flower photos, and I kind of wanted to use my, use both vertical and horizontal photos. So I'm just kind of gonna lay them out a little bit. Horizontal, vertical, so that I know what I've got. And I was gonna just use like my 5 best. Well, that's really hard. They're all good. And the butterfly theme really works for this because I have got butterflies all over my yard right now, you guys. It is gorgeous. So I really like that. Okay, I'm gonna put those aside. So I really like how this looks. And my thought was to duplicate that denim on the other side. But when you put the photos on denim, do you see how they like lose some of their vibrancy? It's like there's something about that white. It needs that, and then it covers up my cool grid paper. So I think I'm just gonna leave them right here on white, right? And just for now, let me grab my little, I'm just gonna tack them into place where I think I want them. And that way I can move them around when I'm ready. Everybody say hi to Moose. Hi, Moose. can hear him panting in the background. Okay. Okay, I really like how that looks. And now I have all my little parts and pieces, and I have this, which I think is going to go here. I may have to move my photos down just a little bit. That's not bad though. I feel like this time of year, my flowers are normally all starting to get a little leggy and, you know, a little, I don't know, it's like I get tired of watering, so, you know, they start looking not as good. But this year, I have been working really hard. So the currently unavailable close to my heart stuff is not likely to come back. It is, you know, it's a one-off thing. They bought all they could, and that's all they have. What they told us was that they had enough product to like send some to Australia, New Zealand area, and then some here in the US. And they said it doesn't happen very often, but if something doesn't sell very well, you know, in one market and it's overselling in another, then they could bring some product over, but it's selling out there too. So we're not gonna get that. Yes, on the Stampin' Up website too, that's right. Yep. So I am just going to mess around a little bit with these dies. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this in place so I'm not futzing around with it constantly moving. There you go. And then hold that down a second. Here, I'll put a block on it. I'll hold it down a second. And then this one, I like how this looks tucked under. I have these butterflies. Now, do I want to use them all? Probably not. On the other page, I have, on the other page, I used 4 butterflies. I may not even need any. I think I need 1, but maybe not the biggest one because it's too matchy. You know, it's like I don't want it in the exact same spot as the other. But I kind of like that. I also cut some of the greenery from, you know, I've been using this set like crazy, this floral set. I'm bad with names still. Flowers of Beauty. And I mostly have been using it for the die cuts to cut this greenery. So that I could kind of tuck some of that in. Yeah, so while I'm doing this, I'll tell you, the Close to My Heart stuff, what they did was Close to My Heart had already started planning for National Scrapbook Month in May. They also had started planning for some of their specials for the summer, like the gnomes, the summer gnomes, and what Stampin' Up did was they purchased some of that product, right? So that they could transition, like Close to My Heart sold it to them, and then they gave them the rights to some of their other products too. which is great for us. But there was very limited product, because what Close to My Heart does when they have these specials is they order more if they run out. And so Stampin' Up did not plan to order anything more. I'm just cutting these apart so I can use them in different places. So what we end up with is what we end up with. It's a limited supply. They bought all that Close to My Heart had, and that's it. So whatever they have now that shows is what they have, and you're not gonna see more popping in. We have a lot of product though. It's just that camera set, holy moly, was that popular. And that set is one that I think is the one that most people missed out on if they missed something. The other thing that people were talking about missing out on, I think I'm gonna use some foam on those. Hold on a sec. I'm just gonna put it on the wings like that. The ink and the cardstock of the new colors. So Close to My Heart has a habit every year when they do the National Scrapbooking Month special, they give a sneak peek to a couple of the new colors in the catalog. So they had started ordering these new colors, and they're great, but there was no paper packs to go with them yet. And so when you buy those, you know, it's not like we have coordinating patterns yet. And so it's kind of like, I went ahead and I bought the green. There's a green that they named Artichoke. I bought that. I bought the ink and the paper. And I'm not sure why, to be honest, because it looks a lot like a green I already have. And then I went ahead and bought that one called Apple Spice. So I bought two different ones, basically. And I'm not going to get all carried away because I don't see why why would I show them if you guys can't get them? That's sort of I don't want you guys to feel like you've missed out, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I just haven't decided what I'm gonna do with those. I'll probably do a video when I get them in and show you the colors and the differences and what you can use if you missed those. I think the big win is that if you love flip-flaps like I do, Stampin' Up! Is going to start carrying them, and they hope to have them in September. They were talking about, I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Look at this. I already got this ready, which is great. So the flip-flaps is what I'm showing right here. And the thing that they are so amazing, and they're a patented item from Close to My Heart, and Close to My Heart sold the rights for that product to Stampin' Up. And Stampin' Up is going to start carrying them, and we were told as long as they can get the product in time, they will have them in September. So if you missed out on the 4x6 flip-flaps, don't fret. Okay, so here's what it is. It's basically a pocket, right? It's a clear pocket, two-sided. And let's say I have a lot of artwork on this page and I don't want to cover it all up with photos. So this flip flap allows me to add another. Oh, Heather, you crack me up. Okay. This allows me to add another 2 photos on top of this other photo, so that there's 3 there. And that way you're still showing all of your photos, but it takes up less space. So I'm going to just lay this on here. I kind of want this white border. Yes, CM has flip flaps now, I noticed. They're a little different, but they work essentially the same. So, okay, I'm going to flip this sticky part behind, and I am going to put it, not there though. Oh gosh, this stuff sticks like crazy. I'm going to hold it in place, slide it down here. There we go. Boom. Okay. So I attached my flip flap where I wanted it. See, I could put another photo in right there. I have one of Steve and I doing like tons of yard work because our yard is now a high maintenance yard. We turned our yard from a low maintenance yard into a high maintenance yard by adding all these flowers and all this border, all this stuff that we've done. But it is beautiful. It's beautiful. I want to tack that down a little bit. Okay, there's my pages. So today, there we are. So here's, I'm going to raise my camera up now so that you can see both pages together. And we have page 1 that has the cool flip flap. And you could put the flip flap on top of your page protector, or you can, what I do is I make a little slit in my page protector and I kind of feed this through the slit, and then this lays on top. But I feel like it has more security by being on my actual paper. But most people just stick this onto their page protector afterwards. So that's an easy way to do that. And then, but I love how this turned out. I love this. Look at how cool that looks. And it's such a neat outdoor page, and this would be good for anything, honestly. So, oh gosh, seriously. Our, we use rain barrels. We have, 3 rain barrels in our yard, that catch all the rain that comes off of our house, and we use it for our flowers. We don't garden for anything we eat, so I don't have to worry about you know, like having problems with like having roof material on our food or anything. But we use it for all of our flowers, and it saves a ton of money because our water bills are really have gone up here. I don't know what other people pay, to be honest, but like at our main house where we live, our water bills are about $55-$60. And then at this house where I'm just hanging out most of the time, the water bill is more like $30. So, you know, that's $80 a month, and I save tons of money by using my rain barrels. I'm just sitting here. Since we're chatting, I'm gonna go ahead and like do this little strip that I talked about. So I don't know, Heather. Whoa, is that good or is that bad? I don't know what your water bills are. You know, around here, we have found that our area is probably one of the cheaper areas in Illinois to live, but we love our rain barrels. Yeah, melted snow. I love it. I love it. I'm sure it works. We don't have any snow. It's like 90 degrees today. All right, I'm just gonna put a little piece. I like this foam, you know how I am. I just bought a whole bunch of foam from an adhesive sale online. Okay. Where do I want this to be? I think I want this here. All right, am I straight? I'm bad about being straight when I do stuff out in front of me on camera. It's like everything turns out to be like wonky. All right, there's my page, all done. It's nice to do some with photos once in a while. I feel like sometimes I do these naked layouts without any photos, and then I go back and put the photos on later. And it's fun, but there you go. I hope you love it. Yeah, it's doubled since last year. Last year our water was only $38 a month, and now it's like $59, $60, something like that. But anywhere I can conserve, I do. Okay, so Friday I have what was I gonna show Friday? I got something for you Friday. It's in my queue. And so we will probably do a card. And then next week, I'm going to show you next Tuesday, we're going to do our online card craft along. And we'll do our, I'll do our scrapbook page that you'll get free if you order from me in July. I think you'll really like that kit. It's elaborate. It's kind of like this. It's got lots of parts and pieces and, something you may or may not want to do yourself. So it's really nice to get that as a kit where you just put it together. Okay. Woo! Sally. Ouch. Yeah, I should count my blessings, shouldn't I? Okay. Yeah, even a little bit of rain, like we got very little rain last night, but just that little bit will fill our barrels, and that'll water for about a week. And then hopefully it'll rain again before then. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, actually. Have a good 4th of July, everybody. And I will chat with you soon. Thanks for watching, and I'm sorry I'm on the wrong page. Bye.